It was a chilly winter evening in 1943 when I stumbled upon an old dusty journal hidden away in the attic of a small cafe in Paris. The journal belonged to a young soldier named Pierre who had fought in World War II. As I flipped through its yellowed pages, I discovered a lost story of the war, one that had been hidden from the world for decades. As I read on, Pierre's words transported me to the trenches, sharing tales of bravery, camaraderie, and the heavy burdens he carried during the conflict. His descriptions painted vivid images of desolate landscapes and the haunting sounds of war, capturing the essence of a time when hope seemed distant. In those moments, I felt an undeniable connection to Pierre, as if I was walking alongside him through the struggles he faced, each word resonating deeply in my heart. Through his writings, I learned not only about the battles he fought, but also about the friendships forged under fire, moments of levity that provided a brief escape from the grim reality. Each entry revealed Pierre's longing for home, his dreams of returning to a life untouched by conflict, weaving a poignant narrative through the chaos that surrounded him. Pierre's journey began in 1940 when Nazi Germany invaded France. He was just 20 years old at the time, and like many young men, he felt a sense of duty to defend his country. He enlisted in the French army and was quickly sent to the front lines. As the days turned into weeks, Pierre found himself in a brutal training camp where camaraderie formed among the soldiers while fear lingered in the air. The reality of war began to sink in with every harsh drill and solemn face he encountered. In the chaos of battle, every thunderous explosion served as a reminder of the stakes involved. Pierre's heart raced as he grappled with fear and courage, desperately trying to hold on to the hope of returning home. With each passing day, Pierre wrote letters filled with love and hope, sending them off into the unknown, trying to reassure his family of his safety. The sound of gunfire and the sight of ruined landscapes became a haunting background to his thoughts. The day of reckoning arrived, and as they stood shoulder to shoulder, adrenaline coursed through Pierre's veins. With a rallying cry, he joined his brothers in arms, stepping into the chaos of battle that would change everything. The early days of the war were brutal, with both sides suffering heavy losses. Pierre's unit was stationed in the north of France, where they faced off against the German army in a series of fierce battles. Despite being outgunned and outnumbered, the French fought valiantly, but they were ultimately forced to retreat. As Pierre and his comrades navigated through the devastation, the weight of their situation pressed heavily on their shoulders. Each day brought new challenges, and the bond among the soldiers grew stronger even in the face of despair. In the midst of chaos, moments like these reminded Pierre of the importance of brotherhood. They honored those they had lost, vowing to continue fighting in their memory, each heartbeat echoing resilience. Strategic planning became essential as Pierre's unit prepared for the next assault. Under the cloak of night, they pondered their fate, hearts filled with hope, yet shadowed by the reality of war. With dawn breaking, Pierre knew it was time to face the enemy once more. As they charged into battle, the sounds of war enveloped them, each soldier driven by the desire to protect their homeland. As the Germans advanced, Pierre found himself separated from his unit. He was alone, scared and unsure of what to do, but he refused to give up. He began to make his way south, hoping to find safety and join up with other French resistance fighters. With each cautious step, Pierre moved toward a sunlit clearing, where the remnants of a recent battle still told a haunting story. In the distance, a village emerged, its rooftops sending up wisps of smoke, representing both danger and the possibility of refuge. As he approached the village, Pierre crouched behind a large tree, heart racing as a German patrol marched past their weapons, glinting ominously in the sunlight. He gripped his rifle tightly, aware that one misstep could lead to disaster. In a moment of opportunity, Pierre slipped into a shadowy alleyway, the damp cobblestones whispering of haste and danger. Within the village, a group of French resistance fighters congregated in a dimly lit room, deep in discussion about their next move against the occupying forces. Along the way, Pierre encountered countless civilians who had been displaced by the war. He saw families forced to flee their homes, women and children wandering the streets, searching for food and shelter. He witnessed the atrocities committed by the Nazis, the brutal treatment of prisoners, and the destruction of entire cities. As he walked, horror filled his heart at the sight of children clutching their toys, remnants of happier times amidst the chaos. Families gathered in groups, some crying softly, while others tried to comfort one another, creating a poignant scene of resilience and despair. In a makeshift camp, Pierre found families huddled around fires sharing meager rations and stories of better days. An elderly man sat nearby, eyes shadowed by sorrow, yet he watched the children play a flicker of hope igniting within him amidst the overwhelming despair. Kneeling beside a young girl, Pierre extended his hand, offering her a piece of bread, and he was met with an expression of pure gratitude. The street around him was a chaotic blend of soldiers and civilians as smoke billowed from the ruins, showcasing the unsettling reality of occupation. Despite the chaos and destruction around him, Pierre remained determined to fight back. He joined a group of resistance fighters, and together they launched a series of daring raids against. Together they devised intricate plans moving swiftly under the cover of darkness, with Pierre feeling the weight of their mission resting on his shoulders. With every heartbeat, Pierre pushed aside the fear that threatened to overwhelm him, knowing that every moment counted in their fight for freedom. In the heat of battle, bonds were forged in the flames of adversity, and Pierre was reminded that they were fighting not just for survival, but for each other and what they believed in. As the smoke cleared, Pierre inspired those around him, igniting a fierce resolve within their hearts to continue the fight against oppression. Understanding the stakes, they meticulously devised their strategy, knowing each carefully calculated move could tip the balance of their struggle. Determined to reclaim what was lost, Pierre led the charge into hostile territory, their shared conviction fueling each step they took. With their hearts racing and danger closing in the resistance, fighters fought valiantly, driven by the hope of a brighter future.